If you are dissatisfied with a judgment in civil litigation and want to appeal, what things should you look out for? Welcome to this segment on appellants in civil litigation. Let us answer your questions. Preparing for an appeal. First, can I appeal a judgment in my case? Look at what's written on your judgment notification letter. If the judgment can be appealed, it will state this information on the last page of the letter after the judgment date. Filing your appeal pleading. If you want to file an appeal, you can file your appeal pleading with the court that issued the original judgment within 20 days of receiving it. The original court will submit your pleading to the Court of Appeal. To avoid missing the appeal window, you can first file your appeal after the judgment and provide your grounds for appeal later. How do I write a pleading of appeal? You can visit our website, and our AI customer service assistant can help you. Just enter a term in the search box. You'll find templates and examples to use as a reference. You must fill in the names and addresses of both parties in the basic information included in the pleading for appeal. If you have a contact telephone number, we suggest you fill it in to facilitate contact between you and the court. You should fill in the case number and section of your original litigation and state that you're dissatisfied with the outcome and wish to appeal. The appeal demand means you should write clearly what judgment you wish the appeal court to reach. You should also write down your reason for appealing. The evidence section is where you can provide any documents, evidence, or witnesses to prove your claim is reasonable. Remember to prepare extra copies of your appeal pleading for each appellee in your appeal. After completing your written appeal, you can mail it or submit it in person to the court. If you decide to mail your written appeal, remember that it should arrive at the court before the appeal deadline, unless your application for legislation aid has been approved. In accordance with regulations, the appellant must pay any court costs to file an appeal. For more information on costs, please scan the QR code at the top of your screen. Courts offer convenient payment options. Feel free to make use of these payment options and keep an eye on payment deadlines. Preparing for court. The day you are set to appear in court arrives. If the court has agreed to remote proceedings, please refer to the Remote Court Proceedings Handbook in advance. For more info, you can scan the QR code in the top left corner. If you are attending court in person, remember your appearance should reflect your respect for the court. On that day, remember to bring your ROC ID card or other identification, your notification letter, and any other required documents indicated in the notification letter. If you wish to bring additional documents for the court to consider, remember to prepare extra copies for each appellee. Ideally, you should arrive early at the court to register, giving yourself time to find the courtroom. Please make use of public transportation when possible. Don't forget to log in a bit early if it's a remote proceeding. There are 2 ways to register your arrival at court: at the counter or at the check-in kiosk. After you have registered and have arrived at the appointed court, wait for a court attendant to call you in. If it is not your turn yet, you can either stay outside in the waiting area or sit in the public gallery inside your appointed courtroom and listen to the current session. If the appointed time arrives and your case hasn't been called yet, the previous case may have gone over on time. Like hospital clinics, courts hear several cases every day, so please be patient. You can check the progress of the previous case on the court's website or on the LCD monitors outside the court. After entering the courtroom, please remain silent and be respectful. Court procedures and your rights. Private recordings of sound, images, or photographs are not permitted inside the courtroom. If required, you can apply for a CD recording from the court after proceedings are complete. When proceedings begin, the judge will allow you to speak, so please be patient. The judge will ask you to explain your claims, then ask the appellee to explain their counterclaims. You need only address the important points, as the judge will ask you to expound on anything that's unclear. If you're worried you can't explain things well, you can submit a supplemental written pleading. Please respect your opponent's right to defend themselves. Do not interrupt them. If you want to counter, please raise your hand. You may speak again with the judge's permission. In court, the clerk will make a written record of the main points of the proceedings. Everyone will have a computer monitor to view this record. If you discover an error or a misunderstanding in this record, you can report it immediately. The court will organize all the information from the proceedings and bind these documents in order in a case file. It contains records of what the judges, litigants, and witnesses said in every court hearing. The litigants can apply with the court to review the case file during the proceedings, or apply for the case file on CD. After the court has undergone the necessary investigation of evidence and given both parties ample opportunity to make their case, if the judge thinks that the court has clarified everything that required investigation, they will announce the conclusion of the oral arguments. If you have any evidence or material you wish to present to the court, you should do so before the judge announces the conclusion of oral arguments. Otherwise, in principle, you will not get another hearing in court, and the material you wish to present will not be considered. For cases that have concluded their oral arguments, the judge will subsequently announce the judgment day in court. On the judgment day, the judge will announce the judgment in court if any litigant attends. The court will send you a written judgment regardless of your attendance. If you don't wish to hear the verdict, you can tell the judge. Going to court is not as difficult as you might imagine, so let's protect our rights together.